All right, we are muted. All right, guys, thank you. Welcome to the call once again, our Sunday night ritual. This is always good to start the week, end the week. I don't know how you decide what it is. I know we start our goals on Monday, but for me, it's just another day that we can continue to be better and continue to realize different things that we want in our life. And today, especially, I don't know why, but November seems to bring on a lot of change. Obviously, we've got the weather changing, we've got moods changing, we've got habits sometimes going back to the old ways. There are studies out there that show from Halloween until probably, I think it's Valentine's Day, that we gain all of our weight throughout the year, which is rightfully so, right? You're going to have Christmas, you're going to have New Year's, you're going to have a whole bunch of different holidays coming up. And we just got over Halloween candy, which lingers if you're a parent stealing candy. Oh, oh, is that a Carrie smile? Oh, that's a winner right there. My kids don't have candy. I just ate it all because we didn't have any kids. So I think we had 14 kids, maybe 16. So yeah, I had a lot of pieces of candy, seeing that there was 110. Don't know where they went. I know you guys probably saw they went into a bag labeled peas. They were very delicious peas. Let me tell you, they weren't the green peas. But so yeah, lots of stuff happens from November all the way until the new year. So my recommendation right off the bat is to start today and realize that this next time period is very crucial to remove things that potentially bring you or steer you off track. How do you keep track of that, or how do you recognize things that probably will do that? You've got to be writing things down. You have to. Whether it be how many times you eat a piece of candy, right? Or I think Allison just sent me a picture of a cup of candy, hoping it gets her through this meeting. I hope it does too, but write it down. I'm telling you, if we don't track the stuff that we go through, we'll never really ultimately know what we should be removing or what we should be keeping. I'm going to try to do this. I can't really use busy as an excuse because it should be part of my everyday. I used to do it, track a lot of my stuff, but I haven't been, and I can tell that I've gone off track. I haven't been as productive. There hasn't been as much growth going on in my life. I think I let a lot of different things that came into my life, like the renovation and stuff like that, get the best of me, and we're getting past that now. So today's a good day for that. Today's a good day to start changing my thought process. And I wanted to share a website. It's a life hack website. And I'll go right ahead into that. So let's go here. Where did it go? Share. Just some things here that it tells you to remove. The only issue with all these sites, they always have stuff on them now, so it's a little slow. So removing these 8 things from life can make you more successful. Really wants to talk to me there. I really like being successful. I think we all do. Starts off with number 1. We have to remove excuses as to why we don't do things. We can't be blaming others. Talks about coworkers, friends, family, talks about the weather, talks about everything but ourselves when we talk about excuses. Now, I do have a funny line that I've probably said to people before about excuses. Excuses are like assholes. Everyone has one. No one wants to hear it. Right? It's a good one. Right? Keep that in the back of your mind when you're saying an excuse, because it sounds like a fart. Not good. Don't say it. Bring it back. Think about it before you say it. All right, guys? Remove them. Literally just try to remove them. And I challenge you to write down every time or every day that you used an excuse that was just completely stupid, that was pointless, that was just out there just to get out of something. If you note that and write that down, you can reflect back on it and actually remove them. Okay, you can be more conscious, because in the moment it's very easy to do, it's very easy to say, but if you can't reflect back, you won't ultimately change that habit. Man, how many people fall victim to this one? Number 2, perfectionism. All right. This one is a big one. I could probably say safely in the last 3 years I've learned this. In the very beginning, I wasn't too lenient on it. I wanted it to be perfect, and a lot of things didn't work in the business. So I definitely removed this aspect, and I can tell you that it is definitely a great, a great benefit to removing it, because you're always so stressed out. I'm telling you, when you're a perfectionist, you're always high strung, no matter what you do. And not everything is going to go atypical. Like, not everybody comes into the gym with exactly what I want them to come in with. The mindset to work, understand it takes longer than a week. Like, we're talking a week here. I want them longer than a week, right? Understand that nutrition takes more than just one meal a day. Like, these are all perfect situations that never happen. But if I have those expectations, I'm going to drive myself crazy. I'm going to start talking with my teeth clenched and be like, start shaking the clients. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So people always ask, like, if they come into the industry and they want to learn, this is something that I always see. So I get a lot of people every now and then come around and they're like, hey, I want to learn. I want to come in. I want to be a trainer. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then they come in and they're like, bing, 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 bing. You missed this, 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 and this, and this. And I said, I did. You're right. I didn't do it unknowingly. I did it because I know people won't do it just yet. Or I don't implement certain things because I understand that people just aren't ready to do it, right? So it's one of those things. Candace says perfectionism kills creativity. It does if you let it. You can still be creative. Don't get caught into these sayings. You can still be creative and be perfect at it, but the process of getting there is something that you have to be a little bit more lenient, because if you get to the end of what you set your goal out, or what that creative moment actually brought out, then maybe that is perfect to you. So it is all about perspective, right? Like, it's one of those things that these cliche sayings really get people caught up, and I just caution those things when you do bring them up. So yeah, let's try to remove perfectionism, and let's work with how life deals certain things to us, right? We already know that I don't think there's one single day out there that goes as planned. There isn't. So if we already know that, why are we trying to do it? Why are we trying to make it perfect when we already know and we can sit down every day? Oh, that day didn't go as planned. I say that more than not, right? So just be mindful of that. Okay, so let's go here. I like this one. Removing fear. We all face it. There is no one here that is immune to it. The biggest one is when we make ourselves, it says right here, smaller without realizing. Keeping quiet during discussions when you really have something to add. Standing out in the crowd. If you're in a corporate workplace, sometimes you think, well, it's better to be quiet than really stir the pot. But when you know stirring the pot is probably the right thing to do. I've talked to a bunch of you guys, and I've heard these things over the past that you've said, well, in certain situations, you just pick your battles. That's a big saying that we always say. What hill do you want to die on? Well, a lot of that comes back to fear. I don't think I'm going to die on any hill. I'm just going to bring it up. If someone thinks I'm going to die, well, that's their problem, not mine, if I just continue going forward. If it's valid and it's not ridiculous in my head, I will probably say it. So removing that fear, I think I will admit to one of my fears is probably speaking like this to the general public. You guys are a closed group. I know you. I'm comfortable with you guys, but speaking my thoughts to the general public on an everyday basis or an ongoing basis a little bit more frequently, I definitely need to remove that and practice that more, because I think that I could reach more people and helping them. And if I just get over that fact, because I don't know what they say, and at the end of the day, I shouldn't care, and I'm going to try not to care what they think or say. It doesn't matter. It's what I want to say, as opposed to me trying to say things that I think people want to hear, right? So I'm going to try to remove that fear, and you're going to see, if you've noticed, it's really strange what's happening in the groups. The algorithms are not allowing people to see the posts. So when you're on here listening to this call, I suggest that with the inner circle, you go in and click the follow group. There's a follow button that you should click so that at least the stuff comes up into the into your news feed instead of you seeing the notification, because we're over notified all day long and we just ignore things quite easily. But you should have seen me starting to post some more videos, get back on that that beat, and sharing some of my thoughts. So just understand that that's going to happen going forward. I really want you guys to see those, and I want you to participate in them because it is beneficial if you resonate with it. If you don't, that's cool. Not everything can hit you where you want it to, right? But at the same time, I am going to be posting more of those, so that's going to help me because I've identified that fear. Number 4, let's move on here. Remove the need to control everything. I'm going to let that one sink in for a minute here. Control is an interesting thing. It's something that we all seem to want until that control kind of turns against us, where we're going, it's everything, right? There's certain things that we can't control, and we have to accept those things. And if you can take a moment to just reflect on things in your life that you're like always trying to help, or maybe it's a person in your life that you're always trying to help and you just can't nail it down, and you just can't help it, or you can't help them, and it's eating you up. It's eating your valuable energy. And I think this is the big thing. We don't mind our energy, right? We see this energy bar going doo, 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 all day long, and most of that energy is towards things that we can't control. And then the ones we can control, we usually don't pay any attention to them and let it go because we're like, oh, I can control that later. I can figure that out later. We keep going back at the things we can't. So just know you can't control everything. Certain things are going to come up in your day. Like I said, not all days go as planned. You have to be able to react to those things, and then you have to be able to take action steps in the direction that you think is the right way. It may not be. You might make a lesson out of it, but it's one of those things that you have to kind of take the punches as they come sometimes, and not think you can control it all the time. So let's try to get rid of that. Fixed mindset. Maybe not a lot of people know what this means, but a lot of people have a fixed mindset and they make no effort to learn more or change their perception. I learned this a long time ago, where certain things in the industry would change, or even experiences that I went through, like, okay, I'll make a suggestion, or I'll make a choice to do something, and say, oh, I'm fully behind this one, and then it won't hit where I thought it was going to. It won't agree with me, and a lot of people will know they're going to stand their ground and keep pushing through, when the right thing is to actually take a step back, and remove that fixed mindset and actually change your beliefs. It's okay to change your beliefs. Totally okay. If your parents grew, they raised you on a certain set of beliefs and it is the be all end all, but now we have proven information that kind of goes against it, you don't have to stay in that mindset. I think it's very mature and it's of a successful person that allows these changes to happen. So the fixed mindset, definitely, I would picture it being backed into a corner and you're fighting for what you believe in. Yes, to a certain extent, but at the same time, if like water doesn't hydrate you and you're stuck on that, then you're in a problem, right? You got to get over that. All right, this is a big one for anybody in business, or anybody trying to climb the corporate ladder, or anybody trying to do anything in the gym, anybody trying to do anything. Number 6, remove the desire for overnight success. There is nobody out there that has more than, I don't know, let's call it $10,000 in their bank account that didn't take work. 20,000, 100,000, million. There's no one out there that can tell you that they didn't work their ass off to get it. Lottery winners, put them aside. But I'm telling you, there's no way. There's no way that you're going to get this overnight. Whatever you're trying to do right now, whatever your goals are, you put your goals down every Monday. I always see, for the most part, every single Monday, some people keep changing their goals. there's no fixed goals. And even though that there's still goals, we just make new ones because it's Monday. It's new goal day. No, it can be the same goals every single Monday, and you can accomplish them every single week, and you can increase your results of those same goals every single week. And then we can set a further goal that's attached to these goals, how it leads into it, right? Just understand that you got to put in the hard work. I can't, there's no other way to say it. Put in the hard work, you will reap the rewards. On to number 7. 7s were lucky for me last night playing poker. I kept playing them and they kept hitting. So I like number 7 being this one because it's very, very, very important. Remove toxic people. I know everybody's probably gone through this before. It was probably one of the worst breakup type situations with whatever type of relationship it was, friend, spouse, anybody, I don't care, whoever it was. Removing them is important. If the people around you are giving you negativity and always giving you negativity or throwing it off, like I remember we had that conversation with Jennifer, she went into her coworker and just said, hey, you know what, your approach or your attitude really kind of rubs off on everybody here. Have you noticed that you're really negative? And then it changed everything for that person. So you can remove a toxic person, or if they are a good person and they just speak a lot of negativity, confront that negativity and try to help them remove that from them, remove the toxic of that person. They may not be actually a toxic person, but you got to do both, right? So if you care enough about them, let's try to help them grow. If you hate them, which is a strong word, but if you don't like them, they're not contributing to you, let's try to help them out, get them out, right? So it's a really important one that I want you guys to focus on. And then number 8, by a sign of head nods, how many people does this hit? Yeah, Carrie, Allison, Cheyenne, Kendra has letters. I'm sure those letters are going up and down. Candace, I think Tracy's on the call. I gotta go. Vanessa, yeah, Jen, my head. Okay, you do not need to say yes to everything. Okay, when you really want to say no, try it. I dare everyone to say no this week to one thing that no one expected you to say no on. And don't just say it to be like, hey, I said no. Truly feel it, that you don't want to do it, and just say no and record the reaction of the person you said no to, because I think it could be funny. And then go from there. Maybe we can come back to this next week and touch on it at the start of next call. But
hey, Corey,
yeah.
How about no, and don't give them an excuse why? No is just good enough because it's good enough for you.
That's fine. Yeah, that works. You can say no. Usually people do say no and then add some little bit of kindness to it, but that's up to you how you want to deliver that. I've heard and I've read just saying no at this time, it's inconvenient for me, or it's not, not what I'm trying to do right now. It's not in my immediate future, so I can't do that right now. There's different ways you want to position it based on the situation. So I'd be careful of that, Tracy, if you're saying no to your boss, for instance, or if you're saying no to certain situations, right? Sometimes you do want to give a firm, but not a pushover type no, or not an attitude type no. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. I've got some chats here. Not about kindness, just no because it's not good for me. Yeah, and that's what people say too, right? They say no because it's not good for me, and that's just truth, right? So Tracy's saying that. And you can be truthful and put it very plainly, and it's a good thing, right? So yeah, definitely you can give that one a go. I like that one. But yeah, so let's open the floor. If anyone doesn't have a lot of loud sounds around them, you can unmute yourself. If anyone has a dog screaming, then you can stay muted. Okay, so Carrie, you're the first one that I saw unmute yourself, so you get to answer my question.
Oh, I'm gonna go back to you.
Wow, let's see if I can control that. I can't even control it. I can't even unmute her. Come on, Carrie. Jen, you're next up. Out of those 8, which one hits you the most?
Probably the one about success doesn't happen overnight.
And tell me why.
Because I want it to.
You were like the poster child for dedicated, consistent effort.
I know, but it's hard.
Okay, so you need to go around and tell that truth to everyone.
I do. Like, I've had people ask me, like, several times, and I say it's super, super hard. Because I do want the results overnight, and I do have, like, I have had goals along the way that I haven't achieved the way I wanted to, but then I have to be like, it's fine.
But you're still going, right?
Yeah.
So that's the amazing part about it, because anybody can ask you about the whole journey, about the difficulty of it all, and you're going to give a truthful answer, even though your desires are wanting something quick. It's pretty incredible that you stuck to it. And it's very difficult for people to understand that. And I'm going to tell you, if you ever go through the Fit Club Bootcamp photos on the actual page and go back years and years and years, you know, a lot of the people that stopped coming and stopped pushing are still the same, because they haven't chosen that lifestyle. They haven't chosen that one day compressed on top of the next, compounding factors add up. And they've chosen the way is like, well, this is easier just being who I am now and not changing me, because change is hard and I can't handle change and I can't deal with it. And they probably haven't had a support system along the way like we built here to be able to help people to deal with these changes. Like, this program is so much more than just, hey, chime into the call, hey, participate on Mondays. You know that you have an army of people that you can just reach out to. And I've told people to reach out to you. I'm like, you need to talk to Jennifer, because she pushes through, and it's incredible. And you look at the other faces on here. You've got Carrie, who's gone through the same thing. Her perspective is a little bit different, goals and stuff like that, but you guys are pushing through a challenge that's ridiculous. And look at your results, though. You look back now from today, and we look at that picture, you know, a year ago, and it's incredible. But it's how it's supposed to be, and it's the truth. But yet, it's so honest that you want it now, but you know you can't get it now. And then you put in the consistency and the discipline. It's not the motivation, because you guys that haven't been motivated this whole time. I had to drag Carrie's ass back. I knew she was like, I think I had a conversation with one of the two of you. I think it was Allison. But I said, I'm like, Carrie is this close. Before I pulled Carrie back and tried to make the attempt, I was like, she's this close at a breakthrough. This freaking close. And it was summertime, and it was fun, and it was this. It was easy to be in the summertime chill mode. It was very difficult to get past all those parties, to get past all the summer vacations, to get past. You don't like the trailer, right? Or you don't like.
I hate the trailer.
Yeah. So it's difficult. It's not very difficult to get past going to the trailer, but it's difficult all the other events that happen along the way, right? And go ahead.
For me, it's not always events. For me, I find that I'm the one that doesn't say no. And so I get so busy doing work things and not setting priorities for myself. And so that's what I always have to keep coming back to, making myself a priority versus everyone else.
Yeah, it's completely true. Like, what ends up happening is every single month we get booked up, every weekend's all of a sudden busy. When the weekends are busy, guys, and you don't book any time for yourself, you end up canceling everything during the week, because you have a pile of work Monday to Friday, and then the weekends are already booked. So when you see your months ahead in advance, it's a little tip that you need to schedule the me time. I don't care where it is. I obviously love it when you guys come to the gym and I see you guys and that kind of stuff. But if you're not scheduling me time, everything piles up except for you. Your priorities change. right? And they easily slide into the spots where it's like, man, I don't even know who I am right now. My mom told me today, what did she say? I told her I bought a fish. You guys know I buy fish. She said, sometimes you have to spoil yourself. And I kind of chuckled. I'm like, it's a fish. I didn't spoil it. All I did was probably annoy more people than I spoiled. But for me, it's a cool thing, right? It's a hobby. And then Terry posted it. Totally weird that Terry posted that thing about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, I think, in the inner circle. And it talks about doing a hobby. And the whole time I was reading that post, I kept picturing a puzzle on the table of my grandmother when she was around that she would never finish, or she was trying to finish, but she didn't care because it was every day, just put another piece, and all of a sudden a 3,000 piece puzzle is done in 3 months. And she didn't care about the time. She didn't care about getting it done on time. There was no deadline. It didn't have to be perfect. She had pieces in the wrong spot that she'd switch, and then on to the next puzzle. But that's a thing that she was doing. That's a thing that had nothing else attached to it. And you couldn't pull yourself away from it because you wanted to do it. We all need to do that stuff. So this kind of all fell in line, and it's funny how that all comes out in the same day, even though all these people have no idea what's happening in each other's life to be like, oh, I'm going to post this because I heard it earlier. No one could have known that, and it just came. It's kind of crazy, the timing of that. But we need to book that time. We need to understand that we need to be a priority. Your goals, Allison, lately have been all about that. You're booking James time, you're booking friends time, you're booking back home time, you're booking more time for your sleep. Hell, like that's been crazy. So focusing like that, when you see goals like that and a leader that's posting these goals, take that into reflection and be like, okay, let's look a little bit deeper at what these goals actually mean. Well, they mean self-help. They mean personal development. They don't just mean Monday it's 5 goal day. Mm-hmm. These are deeper, and you can really dig into somebody. And if you want to reach out to that person that's setting those goals that may help you, for the people that are even going to listen to this recording later, most of the people on the phone right now, on the call right now, set goals. But if you don't, reach out to the people that are and ask them, hey, how do you go about setting your goals? Just anything like that, right? This helps us not get sucked into the overnight success, back to Jen's point. We got to keep pushing, be consistent. I think in the last week was probably the highest results in a long time on the Monday, Friday end. There was more comments and conversation going back and forth. It may not have been a ton of follow-up to the goals on Friday, but we conversed back and forth and communicated. So start making that a priority, learning from each other. Like I said, we all have this band of support that is put together for a reason. This program is bigger than what most people think. Like, look at all the value that Ryan's delivering to it. Anastasia's posting a recipe. You've got Supplement Saturday, so you guys are more aware of what to spend your money on, how to choose your more efficient supplements. You're getting the coaching calls on Sunday night. You're going to start getting the videos more from me, and they're always going to be attached by a challenge to do when you watch it. So there's more and more coming, and I'm meeting with a web developer, one of Ryan's clients, to do an online login. If you're not on the Facebook, if you'd rather just go to a website version to get all the files and stuff like that. So if people aren't on Facebook, so we are going to grow. We are going to help more people. And I know this, like, I could have given up on this inner circle. Like, how many times, Allison, we've had frustrating conversations about the inner circle and how it works. How do we make it work better? But we're trying to be perfect. It is working. It is working. So we don't have to change any of that stuff. We just got to keep sticking to the course. This is like a little baby that's growing into something, right? And it's still very early in its infancy. So I thank you guys. We're going to get cut off here. I'm going to obviously post the recording for everybody to watch. I'm going to tag some people. If you see the tags happening and I forgot some people, tag them to get them listening to it at least. Let's see if we can get the listens up, because I think it's important, this one. There's 8 topics there. I'm going to share the link, but I think it's a very important call, a little bit of a wake up. It's November. Guys, there's a lot of things that grow in November. The stock markets grow. That's a good one. Our waistlines grow. Not a good one, so let's stop that one. Our brains grow because we're learning every day, right? And our hearts, we're coming into Christmas. We should open up. We're going to share. We're going to do the cold drive, the Mission Services cold night drive. I think it's the coldest night is the walk. I helped warm that group up last year, so I'm going to see what they're doing this year. But I always collect coats. I always do that stuff. So let's open our hearts. Let's grow that, and let's just be good people. Okay, make yourself a priority. That's it from me. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Right.